Okay, let's take a look here at the spreadsheet first. There's this list. Contained inside this list is the locations where the jellyfish will spawn. There are 16 possible spawn locations. I number them 1 through 16 from left to right. Then on each line of this list, that's not the only piece of information that we have. We also have what item will drop if you kill a jellyfish, what item will drop if you kill a stingray, and what value a star will have when you collect it. Every time the game needs to check for one of these pieces of information, it will go to this list, check whichever piece of information you wanted from that line, and then it will load up the next line. Or you'll never get two things from the same line on the list, is I guess what I'm trying to say here. You'll never have jellyfish 2 and this star, because if jellyfish 2 spawned, the next thing that will be checked will be on the next line of the list. So you notice the stingrays are not on the list. Whenever stingray spawns, it does not need to check the list. Stingrays will always spawn on the opposite side of the screen as your diver, and like a few layers. There aren't any official layers, I think, in the game, but they spawn a little bit lower than your current position. That's just what the game does when it's time to spawn a stingray. It does not need to check a list for a special location on the stingray. So every time the game needs to spawn a jellyfish, it checks the list where. Every time you kill something, it checks what you killed and what item should drop when you kill it. Every time you collect a star, it checks the list to see how much value that star should have. That's kind of the basics of the list. There's one caveat. Like I've said that there's 16 zones where the jellyfish are. You can also think about your diver being in that zone. It will not spawn a jellyfish if that jellyfish would be either in your diver's current zone or within 3 zones of it. So if your diver is in zone 10, it will not spawn jellyfish in zones 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 13. So there's always 7 zones that are blocked from jellyfish spawns based off the position of your diver. And that's the main thing, I think, that creates the illusion of randomness with this RNG table. Because otherwise you'd just get jellyfish spawning in the same places all the time. It's where your diver is that causes the list to skip down several spaces. And then also, killing stuff causes it to skip. Collecting a star causes it to skip. And I've also watched some of the level 9 category playthroughs, and they go into some later encounters. It definitely looks like the block radius might shrink, and maybe it becomes non-existent at some point. But there was definitely a time I saw a guy just kind of sitting there on the bottom, and a jellyfish came right up on him, and I was like, oh wait, that should have been blocked. And so I think in later encounters, the block radius shrinks and possibly goes away entirely. So it'll advance the table until the next jellyfish that would be legally spawned. And so it skips over all those lines. So say, for example, in my run, I do see this first jellyfish 12 because of a little buffer I do at the beginning of the whole game. When your boat first spawns in the overworld, I do a half-second buffer, which allows me to see jellyfish number 12. Most other videos you'll ever watch, both jellyfish 12 and 9 will get blocked right off the bat, and jellyfish 16 is the first jellyfish that pretty much all players see. But because of the little buffer, I'm able to get out of the way fast enough to spawn jellyfish 12, which is what we'll see right here. I'll fill this list in as we go. So I saw jellyfish 12, and then the stingray is not on the list. Like I've said, the stingrays are not on the list, so I don't have to put anything on the list here. Jelly 9 spawned before I killed the stingray. So I kill Ray. You'll see there's no item drop. That's why killing that Ray did not give me an item. And then I kill Jelly. You can see there was no item for killing a jelly, so that's why I didn't get an item. So then now I'm moving. I got a stingray. Like I said, stingrays are not on the list. But then I got Jelly 14. Okay, so then I'm killing this stingray, and you don't see it because I collect it too fast. Because I'm right on top of it as the stingray is dying. But I killed the ray, and he dropped a crab. That's my first crab of the encounter. Like I said, you don't see it. You kind of don't see it because I grabbed it too quickly. But trust me, that crab is there, and I just collected it. Because right there, killing a ray would get me a crab. All right, and then now stingray's not on the list. And then I got this jellyfish 11, killed this ray. He had no item, as you can see right here. No item for killing a ray right there. So in my route, I wait. So I see this jelly 11, and then I don't kill that jelly, but you saw it for a split second there. There was a shell, but kill ray, got a shell and already collected it. And I turn around quickly, kill that ray, and you see that he drops a crab. And this is you get to see this crab, but yeah, I killed him. Then what is that? That's another jelly 14 that you see spawning over there. Okay, then now I'm getting jelly 5. I killed the jelly, which got me a shell. And then I killed ray, which got me a crab. And then I killed ray, that got me a shell. Now I'm collecting this crab, which doesn't do anything to the list. But I got that jellyfish 11 right there. And then I instantly am killing it right now so that I'm getting another shell. All right. And then I collect that shell, get a stingray. So I'm here in like zone 13 or 14. And because of that, I'm blocking the jellyfish that would come out of position 12. And instead, it skipped ahead to the next legal spawn, which was jellyfish 9. I don't kill that jellyfish, but I do kill the ray who drops a shell. As you can see right here, a ray should drop a shell right there. I get over here. I went over to position 3 so as to not block the jellyfish 7 that's about to pop up, because I wanted to see that jellyfish 7. So that's why I go over there to zone 3, and then I kill this ray and he gets me a shell. And then I'm over here, I'm waiting over in 13-14 to make sure that I don't block jellyfish 9 from appearing. And then I'm killing jellyfish 9 to get this shell, and then I'm killing a ray to get nothing. So you can see right there, nothing. Then I'm pausing a little bit to make sure that I get jellyfish 3, and I'm killing them both together, but I think technically it's the ray that dies first and drops a shell, and then the jelly drops nothing. And then there's no more jellyfish, there's just that last ray, and that's the end of the encounter. So that's how I mapped through this encounter. So you can see how that encounter fit within this encounter table that I have. But anyway, so that's how the table works. I backwards engineered this table not only with doing my own TAS research, but by observing all the PB videos that are currently on speedrun.com. So just take my word for it. This list is pretty accurate, and every run I've ever watched works on this list with the mechanics that I've described. I didn't show you collecting any stars because in my sublist world record I don't collect any stars, but when you collect a star it would be like, oh, collect star 1000, and that would take up a line of the list because it's got to check the value.